10 first-time homebuyer mistakes you want to avoid. Are you thinking about buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, today I'm going to share with you 10 mistakes that you want to avoid when buying your first home. I am Nancy Walsh with Jeff Cook Real Estate, and over the past 5 years, I have helped over 100 people buy their first home. I have learned a lot, and today I'm going to share with you 10 mistakes that you want to avoid. Mistake number 1, looking for a home without applying for your pre-approval. The absolute first step in buying your home is getting a pre-approval. It can take 24 to 48 hours before a lender actually sends the letter. So it is critical that you have your pre-approval letter in hand prior to looking for a home. Having a pre-approval letter shows the seller and the listing agent that you are a serious buyer. Not only that, but it can put you a step ahead of the other buyers who have not gotten their pre-approval. Yes, I know it is more fun to look at homes than talking to a lender about your finances. But you don't want to be disappointed when you discover that you are either looking in the wrong price range, either too high or too low, or when you find your perfect home and you cannot make an offer because you do not have your pre-approval. Mistake number 2, talking to only one lender. Just because you're pre-approved for your loan does not mean you have to stop looking and talking to lenders. In fact, I highly advise it. Just make sure that you talk to the lenders within the same period of time, within the same 24 hours, because rates do change. But when you get that pre-approval, you need to check your rates, you need to check the lender fees as well. And you also need to check the terms of the loan. Also, where the lender is located is very important. I personally like my buyers to use a local lender. I have found that it just makes for a much smoother process. Typically, your credit score gets dinged every time a company pulls your credit. However, the credit bureaus do want you to be able to shop around to get the best pricing for your mortgage. So if you look within the first 2 to 3 weeks and keep all of those pulls together on your credit, it will only count as one inquiry. I have several lenders that I can refer you to. Whether or not you are looking for VA loans, FHA, or conventional financing, or even down payment assistance, I have lenders that I can refer to you to help you through this whole process. Mistake number 3, buying more house than you can afford. It is easy to fall in love with a home that is out of your budget, but overextending yourself is never a good idea. It is especially important to stick to your budget. I like to ask my buyers, where would you like your mortgage payment to be? And from that, we then set our boundaries in shopping for a home. The last thing I want to help you do is to buy a home that is out of your price range and one that you cannot afford. This is called being house poor. Just because you can qualify for a home that is $300,000 does not mean that you can afford that monthly payment along with your other financial obligations. Mistake number 4, assuming you need 20% down. A larger down payment can get you a better rate. It can lower your monthly payment and increase the equity in your home. So it is a great choice if you can afford it. However, you can buy a home with as little as 3% down or even 0% down. And I'm not just referring to USDA loans and VA loans. I'm referring to down payment assistance. I have lenders that can offer up to 5% in down payment assistance programs. Not only that, the 5% is forgiven after 5 years of timely payments. There are specific guidelines that you must follow in order to qualify for a down payment assistance loan. First of all, your credit score needs to at least be a 620. And you have been employed for the last 24 months. And of course, your debts and your income play a vital part in qualifying for these loans. Mistake number 5, draining all your savings. Spending all or most of your savings for a down payment and closing costs is not a good idea. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that first-time homebuyers make. Plan on having a couple months reserves in your bank account just in case something comes up or you need repairs later on down the road. Mistake number 6, applying for credit before closing. I always say, do not buy a car, truck, or van prior to closing or you might be living in it. It is a huge mistake to get new credit, buy furniture or appliances prior to closing. Your pre-approval is based off of your credit score and your debt-to-income ratio. Applying for a credit is going to lower your credit score and it's going to change your debt-to-income ratio, and neither one of those is good from a lender's perspective. About a week before closing, the lender is going to pull your credit again. And if there is any changes in your credit score, or if they see any more debt that has been filed on your credit, your loan may not go through. Mistake number 7, underestimating the cost of home ownership. After you buy your home, you may be surprised at unexpected bills. In most cases, your property tax and your homeowner's insurance is going to be included in your monthly payment. However, regime fees and HOA fees will not be included. It is very important that you work with a realtor who can give you an estimate on your property taxes and other fees. You also want to have your realtor get the last 12 months of your utility bills just to give you an idea of what to expect after closing. Mistake number 8, not getting a home inspection. A home inspection is optional, but it's highly encouraged. You are making one of the biggest purchases in your entire life, and it's very important that you know exactly what you're buying. A home inspection costs anywhere from $350 to $450. I like to think of it as your first investment in your new home. Your home inspector is going to inspect everything from the roof to the crawl space, from the exterior walls to the interior walls, and everything in between. They're going to check on the structure, the plumbing, the electrical, the heating, and the cooling. After the home inspection, you're going to get a full report. At this time, you and your realtor can talk about negotiating to have some of those repairs fixed. Sometimes the sellers do not want to fix all of the repairs, and then you can negotiate to have part of them done, or the seller may even be able to contribute towards your closing costs so you can have those repairs completed later. Now, your negotiating power does depend on what kind of market it is. And right now, we are in a seller's market. So it is a little bit harder to negotiate on those repairs. But if you have an experienced realtor, she will be able to walk you through and be able to strategize accordingly. Mistake number 9, not hiring a realtor. Your realtor is one of the most important members of your home buying team. Let me first recommend that you work with a full-time experienced agent. Your agent will not only be able to schedule your showing tours, but they'll be able to get you other important information like the age of your roof, the age of the HVAC, HOA fees, and tax information. They will also be able to find out if you are in a flood zone or not, which is very important in the low country. They will be able to write up your offer and submit it and negotiate on your behalf. In this market, it is very important that you schedule your showings as soon as possible. If you happen to be out of town, ask your realtor to do a video tour. I know it's not the same as being in a house and looking at it for your first time and being able to feel what it would be like to live in that home, but sometimes you have to do what you got to do in this type of market. An experienced agent will help you secure a great deal while helping you avoid the stresses of buying a home. So it is very important that you have someone that you can trust. Mistake number 10, talking too much. In this day and age, with all the technology, you have to be very careful about what you say inside and outside the home. Do you realize that a Ring doorbell can not only pick up to the driveway, but it can pick up to the street? Not to mention all those little hidden cameras throughout the home. And trust me, the seller is listening. Sharing how much you love the garden in the back, or how much you love the curb appeal, and how much you would love living in that home can show your excitement and help you win the bid. But you do not want to disclose how much you're willing to offer. Before you walk into the door, say to yourself, pretend the seller is listening. Pretend somebody is listening, because you never know. Well, this sums up my video on the 10 first-time homebuyer mistakes that you want to avoid. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned something. If you did, and you want to hear more videos from me, please subscribe and hit that bell for future notifications. Also, if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer every one of them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.